thank you for having me. Apologies for this being in English. My Hebrew is limited to shalom, ken, lo, ulai. That's about it. So I've used all my words now. So the rest will have to be in English. As you can see, my name is Gretchen Plecka, which is a complicated name, and I am the head of learning at Proversity. A little bit about Proversity. We are an ed tech startup, and we work to develop courses online using the OpenEdx platform. We have offices in Boston, London, and Cape Town. I have the privilege of living in Cape Town, which is, if you've ever been, is really, really beautiful. And that's where I have just arrived from this morning. So if I look a little weary, that is why. So I'm just here to talk to you today briefly about the learnings that we have learned along our journey of working on the OpenEdx platform to develop courses, SPOCs, MOOCs, and all sorts. So these are some of the clients that we work with. Most notably, of course, Bank of England, Teach First, Network Rail, and more recently, Oxford. So we're developing a MOOC for them. It's their first ever MOOC, and it's on edX.org. And so I work with a really great team, and I'm actually here to talk about the team, because creating a MOOC, creating any online learning, is a team effort. And we've had to, we've started with what we felt was best, and we've learned and grown along the way. So I'm here to share some of those. The first thing I'd like to say is not to rush the start. And here's what I mean by that. So plan. And a lot of this has already been touched on today. You need to give yourself enough time to really consider what it is that you are designing. The principle of design thinking, which is to pull everything apart, bring a lot of different people with different perspectives together, and to consider what it is that you are designing and who is it for. So exploring your motivations for creating the course, understanding your audience, identifying risks if you can, and then what's most important, I think, is getting creative. And this is where I really enjoy working with my team, because we have quite a diverse set of people from different backgrounds, and a lot of them are extremely creative. So thinking outside of the box and having design jam sessions is a really great thing and very important. So the lesson learned is do all of that up front, and you're going to have more impact. Don't cut corners. So what do I mean by that? The second lesson is about execution. So you've done your planning, you're happy with your design, you're happy with the timeline, the project plan, all of that. Now you're going to go into producing the content. You need to create boldly, but also methodically. And we have put into place a lot of processes, templates, checklists. We have a lot of reliable ways of communicating with our clients and key stakeholders regularly. And we also have various stages for quality assurance. And I'm going to touch more on the processes and checklists later on, but trying to now execute your plan, you need to stick to your processes as best as you can. I think if anyone, which you all have designed a course and then tried to execute it, we all know that it never sticks perfectly to plan. I'm going to speak about that too in a moment. So the lesson learned here is that the effort is not always where you expect it to be. So there is always going to be these little things that crop up, which is why a good plan and staying the course is very important. So don't overthink it. The saying analysis paralysis, I don't know if you're familiar with it, but sometimes when you overthink things and you get caught into an analysis paralysis loop and you don't really progress. So, like I was saying earlier, stay the course. So don't lose sight of your original plan and your goals that you set right in the beginning along the way. Don't get sidetracked by, I don't know, trying to change the color of something or this very specific piece of wording. Obviously you want a great course, but don't overanalyze every little thing. The lesson learned here is it's easy to get distracted along the way. Don't aim for perfection. So that might surprise some people. We are a company that believes, well, we're a startup, and if you've ever worked for a startup, you know that it's quite intense, and you're building the bus as it's hurling down the highway sometimes. And so sometimes mistakes will happen. Even in the best laid plans, mistakes will happen, unforeseen things will crop up. And that's why we aim for really great courses, well planned, well executed, but we also allow for a place where we can honestly evaluate ourselves and what we've created. At the end of our process, we always have a retrospective, which involves all key stakeholders, right from our sales team, right through to the person who authored the course, the person who did the quality control, the writer, the editor, all of the whole team that was involved in that project. We get together, and we also ask our learners, our audience, we ask our clients, and we ask our team what went well, what didn't, and what can we improve on. And then improving iteratively. So this is what I mean by it can't always be perfect immediately. Things will improve, your processes will improve. As you develop, you will learn, and so you will refine and streamline. The lesson learned is to learn from mistakes and allow for improvement. And don't fall behind. I think we've heard a lot today about technology, and we definitely try to keep up to date with the latest. Adaptive learning has been mentioned, immersive learning, all that technology, and that's really great. But also keep it simple is the other thing. I was chatting to someone earlier, and I was saying that sometimes people want to add all the bells and whistles, and we try to always aim for an engaging experience, but one that is also simple, with the learner at heart ultimately, so you don't have cognitive overload. And the lesson learned here is to think to the future, which I think everyone here is doing. This is just about our cost and what we've sort of learned in terms of developing. But I'll basically leave you with that. And it's interesting because it follows on that quote you had from Colin Powell, it was, wasn't it? It's very much the same thing. And that's... I beg your pardon? Sure. This is...
אני רק אשביר, הם נותנים שירות, רק אולי capacity, הם נותנים שירות של ממצאים פיתוח קורסים, והם עזרו באוקספורד, בחברות חברה שנותנת את שירותיה ונתנו להם במה.
Are any questions?
ראיתם כמה זה עולה.
How do you manage with the Hebrew?
Oh, we don't have to yet. We do have, we are currently building a course that's going to be in Welsh as well as English. That's quite a challenge. If you know anything about Welsh, English words are this, Welsh words are equivalents are this. So, so no, we don't have any courses in Hebrew ourselves at this stage. But we are also working on a microsite for another client, which is in Arabic. So, but I'm not in our engineering wing, so I wouldn't know too much about the technicalities of that. But in terms of, you know, localization, I mean, it's a fairly standard thing.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.